Good morning, beautiful morning with the sun is out and perfect clouds there. There's the sun. Perfect. So today I want to talk to you about why I think breed formation, that one is often celebrating, is in fact a detrimental thing. And I will tell you why. First I will tell you why those that celebrate breed formation think it is a good thing. One, it is at last their breed, their life's work is now recognized as a separate breed, worthy of becoming a new breed. Also, they will tell you because of this breed formation, this is a natural thing, you see it in all dog breeds that have been there for a long time, and say this without any trouble, which is in part true because a lot of dog breeds are still here. You see all this diversity and still there is no trouble in that case, that they all live and they have survived and thrived. So this is true to some part. And why do I say some part? Because if you look at dogs, you see that a lot of breeds are there, are popular, but are also diseased. Their vitality, their health is very much less than it should be. Then they have to take into consideration some facts. One is, a dog is a very flexible type of companion to man. So for example, the wolf is an all-rounder, but by selecting them they can have dogs that at one side hunt and kill, for example hunting dogs, catch dogs for example, that are chasing prey and killing it like the wolves did. But on the other side they can have very strong dogs like flock protection dogs that do not kill their flock but only kill the predators. Two sides of the same coin. Both dogs have still a killing attitude, because those livestock protection breeds, they will not think twice to kill a wolf or a bear that tries to mess with their flock, whereas it doesn't mess with the easy prey that is the flock that's along them. So that gives you some indication of the broadness of what we are dealing with. That's one. So there's plasticity, there's a lot of flexibility within the breed of dog, Canis familiaris. But on the other hand, with that selection they have made all these types of dogs, but they had a purpose. And if you select by this performance standard, they had, for example, a test. This is a terrier. A terrier is a dog that goes to ground and fights with the quarry there often. Some terriers are more a baying type, but most are quite confrontational. This type of dog that you see here is a Patterdale Terrier, bred to engage with especially red fox, and also to a lesser degree badger, to a far lesser degree hawks or rats or nutrias, which are very big rats. We also call them beaver rats in Dutch. But this is what they were bred for. And if you get, for example, a dog from performance lines, from performing parents that were bred and selected for their performance characteristics, they are still within the breed of Patterdale Terrier, which is a sort of Fell Terrier. Like a Fell Terrier is more the land breed, so you can have a specific task, which is Fell Terriers. Dogs that go into fell areas and engage their quarry there. And then one example could be the breed of Patterdale Terrier. So it's within the breed, but because of the harsh performance selection within that breed, you still get very strong type of dogs. And those dogs will be, in general, quite healthy, will be able to reproduce, otherwise they would not be selected that much or be outcrossed again, to keep that working ability also up to par, and normally also wouldn't be disease ridden, so it would not be a disease type of dog, because what use is there if a dog has the will to go but is filled with diseases and it cannot perform. And there's also a selection on other factors, more artificial factors. For example, a selection on dogs that look a certain way or have a certain image or a certain exaggerated emotional effect on people. If you see a dog that's very big and bulky and intimidating, or a dog with a very flat snout and eyes that are just almost exploding out of its head, like some current day bulldog type of dogs do. For example, French bulldog, but more so even the pug. One could have a selection on factors that all will deteriorate the strength and the performance characteristics of that breed. So that's one. If one would have a breed that still is healthy, it would be nice to have that breed still performing. If the breed still performs, you could have any breed, and with good selection, if the gene pool is broad enough, one could keep a breed quite healthy and still just confined to that breed. That's also a part that I wanted to say. So in the past, a breed was like a selection of dogs of different lineage, different backgrounds, different breeds, so to say, that were performing the same task and doing it rightful. So therefore they were named after the task they did, instead of how they looked. But if you then say only the dogs that have, for example, color X or all white can be part of the breed, you select already in those performing individuals. If you then also say they have to have a curly coat, you select even further, etc., etc. So despite of having, if you had a breed that worked very well and was white and curly, and that were the best dogs, and if they didn't work, you could always outcross and to make them work again as you wanted them to be, or if they were deteriorating a little bit. Goedemorgen.
Hey.
Hoi.
Goedemorgen, zwartje. En hoe is die?
Goed hoor.
Ja. Hij heeft zijn lip open.
Wie? Spikey? Oh nee. Hoe komt dat?
Die heeft een tumor.
Oh, dat is vervelend. Ja, ik dacht dat hij dat had omdat zijn stok erin zat.
Nee.
Oh.
Verleden week. Hey.
Maar daar is hij misschien ook wat meer geïrriteerd, de rest van Spikey.
Verleden week.
Dat gaat hij ook.
Verleden week donderdag gekregen. Het is een kwaadaardige tumor.
Oh jee.
Niks meer aan te doen. Opereren kan niet, want een lip kun je niet bij elkaar trekken.
En hoe oud is hij nu?
7.
Oh, dat is jong hè?
Het is nog jong, maar ja, goed,
Schrikkelijk.
het heeft nog geen pijn, dus ja, zolang als je het zo doet, dan
Ja.
het ziet er alleen
Beetje anders uit.
ja, een beetje eng uit. Maar...
Nou, ik vind het niet eng uitzien hoor. Het ziet er mooi roze weefsel uit.
Ja, maar af en toe komt er wat bloed uit.
Ja, dat is vervelend.
En heb je witte broek aan, dan is het vervelend. Ja, maar ja, dat is beter.
Het is jammer. Het is jammer dat veel rassen zo beperkt zijn.
Ja.
En dat ze dan eerder ziektes ontwikkelen. Want hij ziet er voor de rest gewoon hartstikke goed uit. Ik heb altijd een hele mooie hond gevonden.
Ja, maar zo voor de rest, hij doet het ook nog goed. En de dierenarts zegt van ja, eigenlijk moet hij bestraald worden. Zegt hij, maar de lip is zo pijnlijk. Zegt hij, dat moet je echt niet willen. En nou zit hij op een soort van chemokuur, maar ja, de dierenarts had zoiets van, ja, je moet het zelf weten. Dus met andere woorden van, verwacht er niet zoveel van.
Nee.
Ik zeg, ja, ik sta met mijn rug tegen de muur, zullen we nog maar proberen.
Ja, nou is
Als
toch
ik niks doe, dan moet ik ook afscheid van hem nemen.
is toch heel netjes dat je het in ieder geval probeert. Ja.
Ja.
En dan weet je ook, zelfs als het allemaal misgaat, mijn moeder heeft nu ook kanker, is ook de 5e chemokuur in. Dan heb je toch alles geprobeerd wat je kan.
En ik weet ook, er zijn, ja, zoals je moeder ook, er zijn ergere dingen als een hond, maar het doet
Ja,
gewoon
maar dat is
niet
toch ook een
pijn,
vriend
hè.
van jou. Het is zeker anders, maar een hond kan je ook heel erg gehecht aan zijn. Ook al is het kort, het kan heel hevig zijn. Hè.
Nee, want verleden week donderdag toen ik die uitslag heb gehad, oh ja goed, dan zit je er een avond zit je er erin. Maar
Ja.
denk ook, ik heb hem 7 jaar gehad en ik heb niks gemankeerd. Dus,
Nee, dat is mooi.
En dat moet ik ook voor ogen.
En je moet je dan proberen te herpakken en te denken van, ja, wat kan je er het beste nu aan doen? En dat doe je ook, dus dat doe je heel goed.
En zolang als ze geen pijn heeft, mag hij blijven en anders een spuitje. Met
Ja, is
honden
goed.
mag dat en mensen moeten we laten leren.
Nee, ja, dat is een beetje jammer. Ik heb het ook zo gedaan met mijn hond. 2019, eind 2019 had hij ook een echt pijn. En dat had ook een hele hoge pijndrempel met 13,5 jaar.
Ja.
Dan
Ja,
moet je
dan
soms
ook
kiezen
laten.
gewoon het beste is voor die hond. Maar het deed me ook rot veel pijn, want toen hij ingeslapen werd, toen ik had hem eerst een doos gegeven voor 40 kilo, hij was iets over de 20, 25 of zo en dat ging niet.
Zo,
En daarna
dat
nog een
het
keer gedaan, dus
effect,
dan voelde het toch rot dat hij nog zo hard, nog zo sterk is. Hè?
Ja, ja.
Nou,
Ja, maar dat vind ik ook. Ik bedoel, een dier hoeft geen pijn te lijden, omdat wij hem zo graag willen hebben. Hè?
Nee, maar het voelt rot, want hij wou niet gaan eigenlijk. Ik wens je heel veel sterkte. Hè?
We zullen het gaan zien.
Je bent een
Misschien
goede baas.
Misschien heb ik hem nog een jaar of 2
Ja.
jaar, wie weet. Maar
Nou, laten we nog 10 doen. Hè?
jij zit echt met je moeder.
Hoi, hoi, dankjewel. Hoi. So, she told me that her dog has lip cancer and there was nothing to be done about it. It should be irradiated, but it is too hard because it's very painful place to irradiate, and now she gives her dog chemotherapy to see if she can slow down the process. I lost my father in 2017 at cancer, and this year also my mother has severe cancer. So yeah, it's a hard thing, and also cancer is just destroying very healthy beings, and for humans this is particularly worse. But also other breeds, for example, dog breeds. Some dog breeds are just completely troubled by diseases such as cancer. And if you don't have fresh blood to introduce to repair that genetic defects that cause the entire breed to develop cancer from an early age, this will be very bad. So I was mentioning, even if you have a breed that looks a certain way, and the best dogs do, but there is something wrong, that you cannot cross out to other dogs. For example, if the amount of dogs is still very limited and you cannot select the best ones anymore because they all have some problems, for example this cancer or something else, that you're not allowed to go out of this box to breeds that are healthy in that aspect. You're just limiting yourself, so you're limiting the performance. But nowadays it's not even about performance. They just bred dogs that look a certain way and don't care about performance, which still selects healthy specimens, that specimens that are able to perform, and they cannot outcross. So it's just a big troublemaker. Also, things are that often a breed, when it's formed, it's still for the happy few. So you have a limited gene pool to start with. For example, if you start with about 100 dogs, this will be a lot different than when you start with 1,000 dogs, which are mixed heritage, but are now considered a breed, or 10,000. Understand? You need your genetic pool to start with when you close the performance of that part of dogs and consider them one breed, what do you start with? Also, the troubles are that oftentimes this occurs, and then they say, yeah, that is a good stud dog because he inherits children that look like this and that, and they win shows, and then they all breed to that dog, or most do. So then the gene pool is limited again tremendously. And then after a while, a son of him or a grandson of him is then the perfect stud dog. So you're not limiting yourself only to that specific dog, but also the forefathers that were already a very dominant factor, etc., etc. So this is my gripe against breed formation. I hope you understand now a little bit more why I tell you this, and I was wondering what you think.